So, hey Ngaira.
Hello.
So Ngaira, what is Creative Hour?
Okay. So Creative Hour, I remember it started a couple of months ago. One of my fellow creatives posted an artwork he was doing, and he wrote Creative Hours, and then slowly more of us started posting artworks and writing Creative Hours. So essentially, it's the time when whatever we're working on, we want to share. So even if it's a sketch, a final product, an animation, it's kind of something that many of our fellow creatives just post and share the process of their work, or it's a moment to share this.
So is there a specific time, or is it in the morning? Because I see you mostly do it at night.
Yeah.
So
Well, there really isn't. We never talked about a specific time. It just so happens that I guess a lot of us creatives work at night, especially on our own personal stuff. We're done with client work. We're chilling and working on our own personal projects. So nighttime is like the time when we are doing and fiddling and experimenting. So
that's when the creative juices come out.
exactly, for most of us. So we just ended up posting Creative Hours at night. But we can post anytime, like even if it's in the morning or in the afternoon.
Whenever the creative juices decide to
Exactly.
come out.
Yeah.
Okay. So what inspired you to start this? Or is it, what inspired you?
To start Creative Hour, or just to share most of my work?
Creative Hours specifically.
Okay. So like I said, my fellow creatives started posting and putting Creative Hour, but I've always, at night I'm always drawing something, trying this new thing, or I'm looking at a tutorial and then I'm experimenting on the tutorial I learned. So Creative Hour just became a place for me to share whatever I'm doing, even if it's just a sketch. Like, it was harder before sharing a sketch. Usually I would finish the artwork and then post that. Once in a while I'll post, the creative process. But now with Creative Hours, I feel very confident in even sharing like the rough sketches and the process on how it will go, stuff like that.
Yeah, since you touched on the process, that's
Yeah.
actually where I'm going next. So what is your process like
Yeah.
during this Creative Hour?
Okay. So first things first, it's usually the inspiration. And I usually get that from maybe a movie I'm watching, something I'm reading, or just browsing Pinterest or Google Images. And then something will capture me, and then I'll get an idea on what to draw. From then, I'll open an app I used called Procreate, available on Apple products like the iPad and the iPhone. I mostly use that to do all my artworks. I open that program and then I just do a couple of sketches, see where the idea will take me. And once the idea, I've locked it down, and then I draw the full artwork from there.
So you get different, do you have one specific inspiration, or is it a collective of things, or just how you feel? Like if you feel like a cup of coffee, you might draw a cup of coffee.
Yeah, it's usually the thing that really calls to me at the time. It can be something very random. Like you said, like it could be a cup of coffee, but I would draw a cup of coffee as a character. Maybe it's a cup of coffee with legs, and then it's hyper because it's coffee, That's already an idea which I can actually...
I know, I was like, save that statement for an experiment I want us to do.
I know, right? Yeah, I'll definitely write this down. But yeah, that's really how the idea process starts, and it grows from that.
Okay. And do you have a specific style, or is that also something that comes at random?
So something interesting, people have told me like, hey, I can usually tell when I see an artwork that you drew it. I'm like, oh, interesting. So I do have a style. I'm never conscious of when I'm doing my style. It just became part of my look, I guess. So every time I hold a pencil or the Apple Pen or a pencil, and then I draw something, it turns out in a way that it's identifiable. You just know it's me.
So is it like your shading, the way you draw your lines?
I think it's
the way you color.
Yeah, I think it's a number of stuff, but the thing that probably stands out the most is my line work. Usually a lot of my artworks stand out because of the line. Like, I leave the line art in the final products, or rather final art that I do.
Interesting. I think we should go deeper into that some other time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this specific one you're doing right now, we're watching you do right now, is it like a Maasai? Like what inspired you to do this?
Okay, so I saw a picture of I think it's a Maasai. It's like a black man sitting down with a red what do you call it?
Cloak?
Like a robe of sorts.
Yeah.
And he's sitting in such a cool way, and I was like, this is actually really cool. He's giving this vibe of a very fierce warrior waiting to attack, or rather just protecting something. So that's where the idea came from, that picture. The moment I saw it, I knew I wanted to draw this guy. But as you know, I don't like drawing a picture that I'm seeing directly. Like, I always want to add my own idea and my own twist to it. So from the picture, I got the idea of a Maasai warrior on top of Mount Kilimanjaro, wearing exactly what he's wearing. So there could be some mythical story behind the warrior, that he's a warrior who's protecting the roof of Africa from, you know, maybe some bad spirits.
That sounds really cool. Like that sounds like a movie or something.
Sounds cool because it's on top of the mountain and it's cool, eh?
Yeah, that I think you should go deeper into that story sometime in
Yeah.
the future. I'm just plugging that in somewhere.
Okay. Well, no pressure to me then.
So have you ever had a creative block? Like I see you're very consistent. Haven't you ever one day just woke up and you had like your mind was blank?
I mean, yeah, it has happened before. For me, it usually happens when I'm just tired. I've done a lot of work and I'm just tired. My body and my brain just wants to shut down and not draw. So I would say, yes, I have experienced creative blocks of sorts.
And how do you come out of it, per se? Like, do you just decide to go sleep and no creative hour on that day? Or like,
Oh yeah,
is there something you
definitely.
do?
So something I do is not draw. Just take a break from creating. You know, so I'll do literally anything else, whether it's watching a movie, whether it's sleeping, listening to music, going for a jog, meeting friends, like literally anything else other than creating. So that's really how I handle it.
So that's interesting. So to you, a creative block is more of your mind or body telling you that you're actually tired and you should rest for a bit.
Yes, definitely. So to me right now, that's a creative block for me.
So you mentioned that you use Procreate on your iPad. So especially, like I know you do a lot of digital drawing. So what specific tools or apps do you use?
So with Procreate, of course, I draw it on my iPad. I have the iPad Air, I think it's the 4th generation. I use the Apple Pen 2 to draw. And then other than that, I have my sketchbook, which I do a lot of like rough sketches. I have my pencils for the sketchbook and some Copic markers. I think you've seen some of these artworks, like I would post these artworks from my sketchbook. So these are really the tools that I use.
The famous Inktober.
Yeah, the famous Inktober. I did a lot of artworks then, and I'm actually looking forward to this year. Let's see what I'll create on my sketchbook.
Oh, yeah. That's.
But that's the only program I use currently with Procreate. It's just easily accessible for me. I'm always with my iPad, and you know, other than that, I just use my sketchbook.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. So I think it's been good. I see your artwork has come out great.
Thank you. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to you making more of these, especially digging more deep into this Maasai warrior sitting lonely at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. So like a guardian of some sort. Like you remember Thor, that guy who protects the gate or something? What's the guy's name?
Oh yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about. I just forgot the name.
I want to say Idris Elba, but
yeah, I mean, acted by Idris Elba, but yeah, he kind of has that type of role. Ooh, Mount Kilimanjaro could be a gateway to another dimension.
Okay.
You could leave that in.
You should make that
I
definitely a comic or something. Yeah, I'm gonna push you for that. I'm gonna definitely.
Okay, fine. I'll make it like a